Hello and welcome to Cigar Box Guitars, aka the Dutch Man in San Marcos. I am the DISM. I'm Stevie Ray, and we're coming to you with another program. Hopefully, when you're watching this, if you watched my premiere of the Red Wing Clay Train yesterday at 11 on Friday, so you can still catch it. So tune into that. But let's get going. Okay, so here we go for this show for this week. We're working on the Total Wine Cigar Box. And hopefully you saw my premiere. There's more to come on that. There's a lot of information and even background history I have on the Red Wing Clay Train. So that'll be new content for me. So tune in, subscribe, join in and watch. And I hope you got a chance to watch it on Friday at 11 when it was airing. It might change its look and different. I used some music that it's saying that if I get monetized, I'll have to take it down because it's copyrighted but not copyrighted. But that was just kind of the look I came up with to get some of the clips I've already had from starting to work on it, and some of my shorts I threw in there. So you could see what I was doing already on the clay train. So I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to get going. As you know from last week, I discovered how to hide the holes in the boxes I made and to get the neck right. I did purchase some more fretboard wood, but the piece actually, I look at the grain, that's kind of wide open grain. I'm going to use this one. This has got a little tighter grain. Or maybe I'll save that one. But anyways, every time I'm in Home Depot, I check these strips of wood out. These are only $7 for that, but and I look for no grain and no knots, and usually they have it. So what we're going to do is I'll get you over to the bench. We got some cutting, we got some gluing to get this thing all going better. And so let me get you over to the bench so you get that downward view on what I'm doing, and we'll get this thing going. There we go. Now I got you on the workbench. I hope this is recording right. Yeah, it looks like it. I almost dropped it. I had to rehook things up, but that's always the danger of it. So here we go. I didn't cut any of these out, but we'll get those measured. So let's get this little piece in here first. Let's get this piece right here glued in here. So we're going to go, this is flush, so we're going to go in like this, and it's going to go right there. So what I'm going to do, I'll cut this later, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some glue on this and glue both pieces and clamp it, and we'll go from there. So let me get a clamp. And let's get our glue. I'm just gonna, as it sits here, I'm gonna double check it, because it's like kind of like cutting. Once you start gluing, it's it. So we'll get this piece in here, and then this one goes out to there. And that one has it. Like I said, I'll trim this later. In order to fit a little better. But as you can see, if I get my pieces on here, that piece has got a glue on the neck, and we'll do that later. And then this will be this will be the fretboard, which will come over the top just a little bit, probably about that much. I'm not going to go too long. Maybe not even that long, maybe right up to here. But see, that'll be the filler piece on the neck. And I got to smooth this out. This isn't smooth yet, but so that'll be the process there. So you know that's right the way it lands. Oh wait, make sure I have that all the way in. Things like to slide around. Perfect. So let's get, I'm just going to put some I might file that a little more. Since I got a little room there. There we go. Been trying to do the thing is after I use a tool, put it away right away. Then I know where it's at and it doesn't clutter up my desk. As you can see, my desk is already cluttered. So I'm kind of using, I had a little notch in it, I put it already. And I'm kind of using that notch as my marker. So we'll get a little glue on this. Come on. These glue bottles like to stick. There it goes. Not too much glue. So we'll spread that around. And we'll get a little glue on this. Then we'll clamp it all together. Make sure that's flush. There, got that glued up. We'll let that set up. Now we'll get busy on this side. And like I said, I wanted to show you that new sander piece. So let me get that out, and then we'll, while waiting for that to dry, we'll sand on this part here. So I'll be right back. Let me get my sander set up. As you know, here's my tool, and I had the wide one. They say you can put your finger on it while it's running and not cut yourself unless you plunge into it. But like I was saying, it came with this piece, which is a sander. So we'll put that on. You can see this is the one I bought, is a little narrower. Is a little narrower than that one. So we'll see if that makes it more nimble for me. But I won't bore you with taking this off. It goes in with a screw right there. So let me get that on so we can get sanding. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I got this head put on. It comes with 180 or 180, 120, and 80. So I'm going to start out. I'm going to try the 80 grit just to get this in shape. And then, like I said, I bought that ceramic one. So let's try it with the 80 grit. These just are Velcro. They just pop on. They pop on like that. And I think I'll move my box over here to dry. Now this thing has looks like that thing was loosening up. I better tighten that up a little better. I don't want it falling off. We don't want it falling off. So that pops on there like that. So we're going to I'm going to start out with 180 on that and see what it does, because it's pretty rough. And it's got those toothpicks that are sticking up. And we'll see how that does. Boy, I really like that. That's my new sander. It did a nice job. I need a little bit of wood filler on there, so I think I'll fill that. Right here, it kind of dips in. But man, did that do a nice job smoothing that out. We'll get this one just a little bit more. Now, let me try. Actually, that looks pretty rough. Let me try that that ceramic disc on there, just for the kicks. But man, that worked good. That works really nice. I see my rubber band broke for my microphone, so hang in there. I still hope I got microphone. If it gets softer, it's because my microphone pulled out. My rubber band broke. So let me try these here. See, I got a hold of these. Let me see how these go. Just for the try of it, I'm not going to sand this one too much because I want to use that wood filler, but I just wanted to see how these discs work. Oh, these are a little thinner. They don't have holes in them, but you can see they're a little thinner. But just curious to see how these feel. They're a little bigger, but that's all right. I like the overlap. These are real fine. These are 220. Yeah, 220. So it's a really fine. So we'll see how that works. Yeah, those work really good. Boy, this is my new sander. It's nicer for fall or snuff, but man, that made it slick. So let me get some of my filler. So yeah, that's going in one of the drawers here so I can get to it quicker. But I've got a lot of these discs. They seem to hold up pretty good. You know, I'm buying the Harbor Freight ones, so you never know. You never know how they're going to work, because you can tell these are a little bit heavier duty. This is the 80 grit. This is 180 and 120. So, and they got holes for the dust collection, but as you can see, I wasn't doing much dust collecting. So let me get some wood filler, and we'll fill that little gap. And let that dry, and then we'll be moving along. I think I already got it open, so. I got this plastic wood natural for right in there. As you can see, it's pretty nice stuff. I need a little dipper. No, doesn't even much of it. The key with this stuff I found is the smoother you can get it, the less sanding you have to do. It might shrink a little bit, so I'll have to try it again, but as you can see, it'll fill that in real nice, because we don't want any, there's a little bit of gap there. So we'll let that dry, and then we can sand it. We'll sand that. And then we'll glue this guy up. We'll get this measured and cut. Because obviously we don't want it going in the box. I got to cut it here and determine. Got to square that up, but did a nice job. You can see the toothpicks, but you can't feel them. And it smoothed those scarfs out really nice. They blended right in. So, very happy with that baby. And the disc. This guy's getting a spot right in the drawer close by so I can plug it in and use it, because that made sanding really easy. And they say to this type of stuff, sanding is really key. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to be using this thing more. So, wasn't too much again, but now we're actually getting into the nitty-gritty. When we come next time, I'll have these holes drilled out. I'll have it all sanded with this piece glued on here. Not the fretboard, because we have to cut the fret slots for that. And the box will be dry, so we can. The neck will be the last thing to be fitted in, but at least we can trim. We'll be able to trim. Once it's dry, we'll trim this piece off. And yeah, so that'll, not too much progress, but that'll be it. That'll be it for today. Like I said, keep watching. The Cigar Box Guitar channel isn't going away. We're just adding more content with the clay train. And actually, the clay train's right up here above my head. You might have seen it when I had that other shot. So let me get a going away shot for you. Get my glue locked up. All right, so that'll be the show. I hope you can still hear me through this microphone. I'm going to try to push on it. It's in there, but barely. If I push on it too much, it'll fall out. I had a rubber band, actually, it's hanging from the camera, but you can't see it on the camera. So that'll be the show. So take a look at my Red Wing clay train. You'll see a locomotive with the DRWNS, which is the Duluth. I think it was the Duluth, Red Wing, and Southern. I'll have the little placard of it later, but the D is for Duluth, and that was the line. So check it out. We're going to try to put one of those out once a week, and you can see right at the top of my head, this is the train board up in the ceiling. So I still have my workshop. I'll be able to drop that down and then pull the stuff outside, because I don't have enough room right around in here, because it's 6 feet long. So I do it when the garage door is up. So, and you'll see that on some of the things when I was cutting. I actually had to do it outside. So there you have it. We'll see you next Saturday at 11. Same bat station, same time. I'm posting the clay train, Red Wing clay train stuff on Fridays. I'm actually recording today while it's just posted at 11 o'clock. And so those will come out on Friday, and then the cigar boxes will come out on Saturday. And then I'll still have my shorts coming out on Friday at 11 as well, so you can watch those if you just want a quick update. So we will see you later, and thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, tell your friends, especially your railroad friends. Tell them, hey, he's got some. I've always kind of had a railroad on there with that train pulling in the station at the end, so it's kind of fitting that I like cigar box guitars and trains. Now I might come up with a song written with my cigar box guitars for that channel, so that would be like double made. The song will be recorded on some of my cigar box guitars with a more of a railroad theme. So, and the interesting thing is, hobos that actually used to travel trains, they had like hobo fiddles, which were, you know, 4-string little fiddles made out of cigar boxes because they couldn't afford a fancy fiddle. And I believe that they even had the diddly bows too, because they're just an inexpensive instrument that they could make and travel with and not have to worry about wrecking it when you're hopping trains. So, well, that's another little history lesson in cigar boxes and trains. So we will see you next week, and thanks for watching.